for clicking. This is my 5th update for the Beauty and the Beast project pan. This project was created by Rain for the Pantastic Ladies. It started on November 13th and will end on November 13th. It is themed around Beauty and the Beast. There are 20 different prompts about characters and other things associated with the Disney classic. I've been doing this progressive style, so every time I get to an update and I don't have anything to roll out, I bring something in anyway. That is not what I'm doing today, but I am going to start at the top of my list. I do still have some items in here from the intro, and that's where I'll start. First is Philippe. He is the family horse and is therefore a cruelty-free item. I brought in this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. It's a mini. I had use on it before the project started, but my goal was to finish it, and there it is. At the last update, I had 35 uses. I used it 4 more times, and that finished it off. So this is now an empty and a goal met for Philippe. I do like this product. I do feel like it fills in my pores, and I can tell a difference. This does not work quite so well underneath a powder foundation. If I try to put a powder foundation on it, the powder tends to cling to where there is more primer, which would be in my pores. So they become more visible again if you're coating it with a powder directly instead of a liquid foundation. I would consider buying this. I'm not sure if I will yet or not, but it is a nice product and it's now empty. Next is 6 Eggs, an expensive item. This is the LMS Pro Collagen Quartz Lift Mask. This is discontinued, but LMS is expensive. I'm trying to finish this and it's gonna be quite a while. I used it 3 times over the last month, and that basically took me from the bottom of the brown line to the top of the brown line, so I can't really make another mark. I really just need a couple of pumps of this to cover my face. This is not the type of mask that you want a thick layer of, just a really thin layer is what you're supposed to be using, but it's going to take me a while, and so this is still in here. Still not sure if it really does a whole lot for my skin, but it doesn't do anything bad either, so I'm going to keep using it until it's gone. Next is Wood Chopper, and that is something on the chopping block. This is the Au Naturel Cream Shadow in the shade White Quartz. No, it is not. This is the Au Naturel Creme Shadow in the shade White Quartz. I had grabbed the shade Bliss before. That one's purpley. This is White Quartz. My goal is to use it 10 times. At the last update, I had used it once, and I've used it 3 more times for a total of 4. So I've made better progress on it. I'm just trying to figure out if this is going bad or not. It is a different texture. Still smells okay, but it is different than it was before. So I wanted to see if this was still good. I have another 6 uses to go. The next one is Book, and that is something that you read or were inspired to buy. This is the Meaningful Beauty Day Cream, is an SPF 30. My goal was to finish it and it is gone. I did mostly use this just as my morning moisturizer, but I did use a chunk of it in a Franken. I made my own tinted moisturizer, and so this is what I used in there with a darker foundation, and we're going to talk more about that later. But this is now a goal met and an empty. It was okay. It felt more like a sunscreen than a moisturizer, so I wouldn't buy this again. I really think I just ended up buying it because it was heavily advertised at the time because the line had recently launched, but I'm not going to miss it. I don't miss it now, and it is now gone. Next is Lumiere. He is an illuminating item because he's a candelabra. So I brought in the iconic London Radiance Booster in the shade Shell Glow. My goal is to use this 20 times. I had never used this before despite the fact that I've owned it for at least a year. So I wanted to fix that, and I have used it 18 of those 20 times. And the reason that happened is because I Frankened that tinted moisturizer that I had. It has the moisturizer in here that you just saw, as well as some foundation samples that were too dark and some of this. So every time I'm using this, I am using this. And so I am now up to 18. I am wearing it right now. I'm certain Lumiere will be rolling out next time, and I'm glad I have this product. It is neat. I think I'd like to experiment mixing it with other things like more matte foundations, but for right now, this is how I'm going to get all my uses. Next is Bimbettes. They're a trio or something you have multiples of because those are the 3 blonde women who are always swooning over Gaston. So I brought in my Cover FX Custom Enhancer palette. I had never used this before either, and my goal was to use each of these 3 shades 10 times. And right now I have used this one called Candlelight twice, this one called Sunlight 4 times, and this one called Blossom 3 times. So I have gotten some use out of this, and you really can't tell I've used it, but I have, I promise, and I'm going to be happy to keep using it. It is nice. It's not as blinding as the Custom Enhancer drops were, so this is much more wearable than those. I never owned any of those liquid highlighters, but they looked like a lot to me. Even when they first launched, I thought it was really bright and shimmery, and it wasn't something I was interested in. but I like this better than I think I'd like those, so I'm glad I have it. And the last project I was working on was Beast, and that is a product that you changed your mind about because Belle changed her mind about the Beast. So I brought in this Beast shave butter. About a year and a half ago, I decided I wanted to experiment with different shaving products. I'd always used that canned foam stuff that you buy at the grocery store, and I decided to pick up this instead. It's a shaved butter, and I do like this better than the foamy stuff. It stays on my legs better, whereas the foam would kind of like disappear as soon as you touched it. This kind of actually coated your legs and provided a smooth surface. So I liked that about it, and it is more hydrating than the foam. It does, however, have a little bit of a masculine scent. It is more marketed towards men. That never bothered me quite so much because I would just apply a moisturizer after I showered anyway, and then I'd smell whatever the moisturizer smelled like, so that was fine. I have, however, decided that I like the shave oils better, so I've switched to those. But I do want to finish this. I was there when I brought this in, and now it is down here. My goal is to finish it, and I think I'm going to do that in a month or two. I'm not all that worried about it, and I don't mind using it. So that was 2 rollouts. I finished the primer for Philippe and this moisturizer for Book, so I get to roll 2 things in this time. I randomized 2 more prompts from Tiny Decisions, and the first one was Maurice. He is Belle's father, and since he is an inventor, he is a newly invented product, something new on the market, or just the newest in your collection. This is actually both. I got this through BuzzAgent, and so this is only one of 2 products I've ever gotten through BuzzAgent, so this is a rare thing for me, but I am happy to have it. This is the Soap & Glory Cherry Wild Body Butter. So this is a new scent that they recently released, and it is the newest beauty item that I own, period. So this fits the prompt both ways, which is pretty exciting. I've never used it. Let's see what it smells like. It does smell like cherry, but it's not all that overwhelmingly strong. I don't think it's quite as fragranced as Bath & Body Works is, but I've never used it. I'm actually going to make my goal to finish it. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. This is probably going to be in the rest of the project, but that's okay. I don't really like the idea of putting a usage goal on a body butter and then having like part of a body butter put away. So I'm just going to try to finish it and we'll see how it goes. But I do have other moisturizers that are going to take priority. So this might be in here for a while. And the other prompt that I drew was Cogsworth. He is something that is soon to expire, and that just fits him so well because 1, he's a clock, and 2, he is pretty tightly wound, so something that is a sense of urgency seems to suit him quite well because he always seems kind of panicked. And the only thing I really worry so much about expiring is things with SPF, because once the expiration days pass, at some point that SPF is going to stop working. So that's what I'm going to bring in. This is the La Roche-Posay Toleraine Double Repair Face Moisturizer. It's a UV sunscreen. It's just a little sample, and my goal is going to be to finish this. I've never used it, and this expires in July. So I do want to finish this relatively soon. That shouldn't be too hard. Here it is. And we're going to try to finish it at least by the expiration date. So there's my update with 2 rollouts and 2 roll-ins. For next time, I will certainly have my last 2 uses on this iconic London Radiance Booster for Lumiere, and then I'll be able to roll in something for him. We'll see what other progress I get. Until next time, wish me luck. Good luck with your projects. I'll see you next month. Bye.